What's going on, guys? Welcome to Randyon's channel. In today's video, I'm talking about the Galaxy Note 8, the S8, and the S8 Plus. A lot of people have been subscribing to their channel, are interested in those phones. Of course, fans of Samsung, so shout out to you guys. Let's talk about these phones, because with the Galaxy Note 8, I have some ideas to make the phone even better, including the fact with the S8 and S8 Plus, you have Bixby, but you also have an additional physical button where you can activate that Samsung Assistant. How about this? Allow people to remap that button so we can activate whether it's Bixby, the camera again, because you know, with an additional button you can do whatever you want if Samsung allows it. So my advice for Samsung, allow people to just remap that button. Whatever they want to use that button for, let them do that, and that way more people will probably use the phone without having to use Bixby and only that. Because with Bixby, it is an alternative to the Google Assistant, but you have a lot of Android fans out there already that are used to the Google Assistant. So I just think the more options, the better. Now besides that, I have another idea for Samsung, and that's including adding an additional wireless charger to the Galaxy phone. Meaning that you sell the Galaxy phone, but rather than a standard charger, or you could still include that, include a wireless charger. The reason why? No other company is doing that right now. So if you guys want to stand out even more from the competition, you can add that wireless charger, and I'm sure companies like Apple and Google are going to notice that Samsung has a wireless charger for their phone, and possibly it could be an industry standard. The technology continues to get better. Why not have the wireless charger? That's my opinion about that, because you know what, with all these phones and these companies competing with each other, I think we need to have better technology when the companies sell the phone. With Samsung, you have the Galaxy Gear as a free accessory from a lot of companies that are selling the Galaxy phones. Why not a wireless charger there also? If somebody doesn't want a Galaxy Gear, maybe they want a wireless charger with their phone. The options are continuous with Samsung because they have so much hardware out there already. So I think it's another opportunity where fans of Samsung and just people out there purchasing smartphones would get more hardware, better technology from the companies that they're fans of. If you see a free accessory, you're going to notice that the accessory could be something really interesting, such as the Galaxy Gear, because the Galaxy Gear allows you to have that VR experience. I just think there are features or even options that fans of Samsung can have, rather than just a standard phone or even an additional accessory, something different that they haven't seen before. The more Samsung sells their phones in a unique way, the more people are going to notice them, more people are going to buy the phones, and then fans of Samsung are going to get better phones from Samsung. That's usually how it works. Now as far as Apple and the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus, I am really interested to see how Apple competes with Samsung, even Google. Because with the standard of having such an amazing screen on the Galaxy Note 8, we're going to see how Apple and Google evolve their phones and even their accessories to compete with Samsung. Now even you've seen it from Google, because with Google they try to give you a VR experience. Now you have a headset from Google and you're talking about that feature called Daydream with Android Nougat. So you have a lot of features from Google now that have a lot to do with VR. But it also started with companies like Samsung involving VR with their phones. So I have to say, with Samsung leading the way, that's what it looks like to me. There's other companies out there that are impressive too, but Samsung with their technology is really leading the industry. So I just thought those were some ideas to make the Galaxy Note 8 better, and I also think a lot of people out there that are subscribing to my channel, also watching these videos, talking about the Galaxy Note 8, the S8 and the S8 Plus, they're really interested in the technology, because when they see something unique, such as the screens from Samsung, they're like, what's next from the company? Because that company is just trying to be different than the competition. Now, it's really going to be interesting again to see even companies like Huawei and the possibilities of the phones they create, because Huawei tries to be unique in their own ways as well. And the reason why I said that it would be interesting for them to create the Pixel phones, because they've worked with Google before on the Pixel phones. So I think really Google has to make a choice. If they want to continue creating these Pixel phones, which it looks like they do, you have to get a company that really understands design. Huawei understands design, Samsung, to a point, I would say LG, not all the time by the way, but really Huawei and Samsung are two companies I really think are impressive with their designs. That's not to say that Apple is not impressive with their designs of the iPhone, it's just that with the iPhone, they don't like to make a lot of changes because they don't want to steer their customers in a different direction to another company. And I get that about Apple. But the one issue I have with Apple with the iPhone is that they don't make enough changes to iOS where it would convince me to use iOS rather than Android. So as a fan of Android, I prefer to use Android than iOS, of course. But when I look at Apple, I say, you know what, with a company, with your success, you guys have the potential to make iOS much better. And that's just my opinion about Apple. No offense to them, I just don't think they're making enough improvements to iOS to convince even more people to use that as their OS for their phone. Now, as far as Apple and what they can change to the iPhone, like I was talking about in the previous video, you have to make more changes to the way the phone looks, because when you see the screen technology out there, even the features, and we're talking about virtual reality, and I get, again, Apple does not want to make changes to their phone all the time. They get comfortable with the idea that they have a lot of loyal fans. Of course, that's great, but you have to try unique ideas. Just like when you first created the iPhone, it was, I would say, a unique idea. You had other technology out there already, but right now, the iPhone kind of looks outdated. The Pixel phones look outdated. So these companies like Google and Apple, you have to innovate. And as far as Apple with the iPhone also, the physical button on the phone, you have to remove it. The wireless charging, like I was talking about before, the fact that you could have NFC on the phone, add NFC, because the fact that you guys reject NFC for this amount of time, it just makes the phone look old. And it's no offense to you guys, again, it just means that you guys can improve that. So with all the phones out there, the Galaxy S8, the S8 Plus, you got the Galaxy Note 8, people are talking about that phone a lot. You want to get even more Android fans? How about Samsung creates a Galaxy phone, even the Galaxy Note 8, where you can actually use TouchWiz or even the stock version of Android. Now just think about that, and how many people will purchase that phone if they have that option. Now I'm not saying Samsung wants to do that, because they have a variety of products, including dryers and washers and even a dishwasher and a refrigerator. They want people to use TouchWiz or a Samsung OS so customers can integrate all those products together, and then you continuously buy Samsung products. Now that's an idea that Samsung has. Is it going to work? I don't think competing with Android works really, and it's not an advantage for Android fans because they're getting different experiences. So I think if Samsung acknowledges that you have a lot of Android fans using your products, including myself, I use a lot of Samsung products. But as far as the Galaxy phones, I'm going to be ruining that Galaxy Note 8 if I purchase the Note 8. And of course, when I look at the Note 8, I don't really want to use a physical button for Bixby. I would rather use Bixby if I want to, not that I have to. And of course, with the physical button, I would rather activate the Google Assistant if I was going to use that feature. So again, I think Samsung should add that as an additional feature. But that's just my personal opinion. I'd like to know what you guys think about all this. Post your comments down below. Let me know what you think about the Galaxy Note 8, the S8, the S8 Plus, and of course, if you like this video, give a thumbs up. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.